Greetings, one and all, the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator actively alienating everyone, in both the analog and digital world. Well, welcome and good evening, you wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar Dee8. Why would a high official like that come to Japan? You're saying he went through the Suez Canal and crossed the Indian Ocean to come all the way here? That's a good point. If they wanted to reach one of their allies, Germany should have been much closer. So why would they make the long trip to Japan? It may have been part of some grand outrageous strategy. I don't know all the details, but shortly after I learned that this submarine's mission was far from a minor one. They said that there had been about 60 of them at the time of their departure. However, only 10 of them, including Beatrice, had survived. Their submarine had apparently hit a mine or something on nearby waters and sustained a great deal of damage. They told us that it had flooded rapidly with water, which had taken out the batteries and released a large amount of chlorine gas. Their sub had become completely incapable of continuing further, nothing but a massive lump of metal floating by the dock. Since the sub seemed to be carrying something of immense value, the higher-ups ordered us to investigate. After questioning the Italians with Beatrice and me acting as double interpreters, we concluded that this thing of immense value must have been her father himself. Apparently Beatrice's father was extremely high up in the RSI hierarchy, and it was thought that he might have worked alongside Mussolini himself, though their massive voyage had apparently been part of some top-secret mission. Now that the man himself and all of the commissioned officers had died, their reason for coming to Japan remained a mystery, and our higher-ups were telling us to investigate, which meant that even they didn't know what it was. Their ship had broken down, their mission was unknown, and the high official they had been carrying was dead, and even the Japanese government didn't know why they were here. The Italians' great and perilous voyage had come to a meaningless and utterly fruitless end. Neverness to Everness comes out in like a day or two. That'll be fun. And like a few months after that, Ananta should come out. And maybe a few months after that, Halo Campaign Evolved. And like half a year after that, the new Dot Hack game. That's a relief. I always assumed that Caesar Japan would smell like soy sauce. What a coincidence. I've always thought that Italians had hair made of pasta. Of course we do. You don't know how hard it is to get that perfect al dente texture. I imagine you Japanese all wear spaghetti al nero. I see you've done your homework, and Japan will use squid ink instead of shampoo. Kya, you really are amazing, Kenzo. It seems you know everything. Have you ever been to Italy? Never. I have read a lot of books, though. An Asian man reading Italian books? Wow, what kind of books? Niccolo Machiavelli and Dante Alighieri. So I know, of course, that you're the eternal Lady Beatrice. Oh, what a surprise. You must be quite the bookworm. Does this mean you came from some Japanese noble family? Who knows? You're completely different from those of other savage-looking Japanese soldiers, I can tell. You must have come from a noble family. You know, the stories of the Prince and Dante's Inferno, I mean, they are good works of literature. Are the Ushiromiya some sort of Japanese aristocrats? Of course not. They just managed to strike it rich in the spinning industry in recent generations. I didn't study all that as part of some noble's hobby. I just did it because I wasn't allowed to do anything except read, play around with roses, and get myself drunk. There had been no trace of malice in Beatrice's words. It had just been a curious question asked to a friend from a faraway country. However, Beatrice was from a noble family herself, so she could tell. She could see the faint, gloomy look on Kenzo's face. Forgive me, Kenzo, I didn't stop to consider why a high-class person like you would choose to take the position of a common soldier. I don't give a damn about my family line. When I die, the name Ushiromiya will have no hold on me. Then I'll finally be free. So, you joined the army because you wanted to die? You mustn't do that. Your family would be so sad. Family? I have no family. I have a wife for the sake of public appearances and children. However, I've never wanted any of them. Everything is a fleeting daydream created by those selfish, greedy elders. So at least while I'm on this island, I can forget about all of that and find some peace. peace. But haven't I spent each day and every day complaining that I wasn't sent to the front and haven't managed to die yet? I can't understand the pain you're going through, but I do realize that my thoughtless words have hurt you. Forgive me, Kenzo. Forgive me, Kenzo. Yes, those words are probably what did it. All of the Japanese called me Ushiromiya. It reminded me that I was the property of the Ushiromiya family every time they talked to me. But she was different. She called me Kenzo, not Ushiromiya. So maybe just for the time I chat with her like this, I can forget that cursed family. Kenzo? I hadn't meant to make Beatrice feel guilty, but she seemed certain that her thoughtless words had hurt me. Thank you. Huh? Since you always call me Kenzo, I finally feel like I'm my own man. I think that I've finally met a person who truly sees me for who I am. Kenzo, you may be a foreigner I met in a distant land, but I can tell that your heart is sensitive and beautiful. If we had grown up in the same neighborhood, I'm sure we would have become fast friends. I'm happy too. You always call me Beatrice, not the daughter of the Castiglione family. We were both in the same position. Her Castiglione family had been a place as well. Though we came from different countries, we had finally found something that we both understood. Do you have a nickname that people close to you use? No. They usually just called me Kenzo. Well then, you should stop calling me Beatrice. All of my close friends used to call me Bice. I'd like you to call me that too. Very well. From this point onwards, allow me to call you Bice as a sign of our friendship. Ah, come on. Don't be all stiff like that. We're already friends, okay? A bright smile stretched across Beatrice's face. No matter how many decades pass, that smile will never fade from my memory. So, by meeting Beatrice, you managed to regain your sense of self.